Hello, online pipe community. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here. Today we do have a semi-parsimonious pipe and a short rant. Today's pipe. This is a pipe by Lee Belge. Now, Belge is a cutty minus the little foot. So you have a forward canted, eggish, billiardish shaped bowl, a slight curve on the stem, but no foot. So it's not a cutty. In it, I am smoking some more of that Sutliff Match Walnut. Today I'm noticing more of the sour, so I'm getting a little more of the Orientals, and I'm wondering if every day I will get something slightly different, just since there are so many things in this blend. It's good. Let's take a little closer look at this Belge. This one actually came pretty clean. It was not nearly as parsimonious as many of my other purchases. In fact, I paid a little more than double what I normally pay for a pipe. So I won't really call this one parsimonious, but it was extremely clean, and it is a very rare shape. Now, you notice a couple of things about the before and after picture. The before picture is actually on the top. That's right, missing stars. We're going to take a little closer look at that particular spot on the stem, but you will notice that the bowl itself was already very clean. The difference between the two pictures is primarily one of lighting, not of anything else. So here we see the stamping up close. Stamping is still very, very clear. What you will notice, however, is that after I cleaned the stem, the stars were gone. Well, that's because there was a spot there for 7-point stars, but the metal had already fallen out, and they had replaced it with just some cheap paint. So you can see where the stars were when the metal stars were still in the stem, but those are gone now. This, however, leads to a different question, and I'll get to that in a bit. Again, the difference between the top and the bottom, before and after, is primarily lighting. You can see that the rim had a little bit of soot on it, got cleaned up nicely. Other than that, it was already in pretty decent shape. Underside, you'll notice some very nice straight grain all the way down. If you go back and take a look at the first side picture, the sides on this both have very nice bird's eye, and the straight grain runs across the pipe, the entire length of it. Pop it open and you see that straight grain running up and down the front to back of the pipe. The internals were a little bit dirty. On the bottom on the left, no, that's not, the pipe is not dirtier there. There's a little bit of wax there from, the stem was tight, so I waxed it and had not gotten all of that excess wax cleaned off yet. You will notice something other unusual about this pipe, and that is a push stem. Now, a push stem was not unheard of on a pipe by Lee, but the push stems were primarily known for being on the later pipes, which were stamped stars with 5 points, not 7. And that makes me wonder about this pipe. Is this pipe actually a stamped pipe by Lee, but stamped with 7 stars? Nobody who collects these or has ever heard of them has discussed such a thing. That maybe there were some stamped 7-point stars, and yet it's a push stem, and all of the metal inlaid 7-point stars that I've ever heard of had the screw-in type tenon. This fly's gonna drive me crazy. So which is it? Is this an earlier 7-point that just happened to have a push stem? Or is it a later push stem that for some reason has 7-point stamped instead of 5-point? Not sure. What I am sure of is the shape is very nice, and the stamping on the stummel itself is impeccable. So there's no question that of that part of the pipe. The rest of it, the stem, I don't know. Little rant. We had a plumber over this morning. I am not a handy person. Not a handyman. No, and no, I was not trying to be gender inclusive there. I just meant as a person, as a human, I am not particularly handy. In fact, quite the opposite. You really don't want me fixing pretty much anything. It's just not going to be pretty if I do it. So we had a plumber over this morning for some simple things. We had 2 tub drains that were draining very slowly. And one of them has been draining slowly since we bought this house 11 years ago. And that's just poor construction. Tamped it too tight. All right, lesson for you newer pipe smokers. I picked it, tamped it too tight. Can't get a draw. There we go. Now let's relight. And there we are. So I got two slow drains. I have a toilet that's whistling, and while I suspect that it's just an intake valve, I have checked and I cannot find any of the intake valves whistling when we flush the toilets. Very frustrating. Fourth, we have a kitchen sink faucet that's loose, and I don't have the tools the longer wrenches to reach up underneath there and tighten that down. So called a plumber in. Simple stuff. Takes care of that kitchen sink, goes upstairs. Runs the water in the tub. It will not back up. We ran it long, we ran it hard. We could not get the drain to drain slowly. Same thing downstairs, of course. This is very much like, you ever take your car to a mechanic and you say, hey, I need you to test drive my car. It's making a funny noise when I turn right. So your mechanic takes your car out, runs it around. Can't get it to make the noise, right? He says, what did that noise sound like? So you try to imitate it. Same thing here. Could not get the drain, either one of them, to drain slowly. So we said, okay, let's go take care of the whistling that we're getting out of our pipes when we flush the toilets. Flushed all 3 toilets multiple times, could not get them to whistle. So I had this guy out here. So it was supposed to be a solid hour's worth of work. Now they charged me for an hour, but had him out here to tighten a kitchen faucet, and that's it. We couldn't get the other stuff to act up. Now, of course, as soon as he left, my wife flushed the toilet and it whistled. Guess I'm going to replace 3 toilet intake valves and see if that's the cause of the whistling. It is the most common from what I've read. And that is a simple thing that I can do. I'm competent to do myself. This fly's going to kill me. But have y'all had that experience outside of cars where you need a repair done You just cannot get whatever it is that needs to be repaired to misbehave. Well, I'm going to enjoy this match, Walnut. Y'all light something you like. Enjoy your afternoon.